Welcome to the nation's capital tonight, Dungeon of Dracarys Stadium, or Coliseum rather, here in Washington, D.C. It's the 3-2 D.C. Dragons taking on the 3-2 Fort Worth Toros, alongside Justin Reside and Ron Haynes. In the stats truck, Charles Doherty, Cameron Irvine with you, Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk back at SFL headquarters for half and post. And for both of these teams, this means a lot, Charles, as they look to become contenders, maybe more so than pretenders after this week.
Yeah, in most cases, Cam, I'd say the road team coming in would be at a big disadvantage, but not so much with Fort Worth. They've got a pretty good record, one of the best in the league on the road, and they're on a 2-game winning streak. I got a couple predictions for tonight, Cam. I think DC's going to pull it out with a field goal, but I think my man Jet Zero is going to have 2 touchdowns tonight.
I just realized, totally unrelated, Shabazz Synergy is rocking the shaved head with dreads. I've never seen that look before. What do you think of that look, Charles? I know you're a fashionista. No? Nothing? Oh, okay. Well, I was muted to my broadcast team. So.
I thought my prediction just like knocked you off your socks, Cam. I don't know.
I don't know. Did y'all hear me at all?
Nope. You went out.
And you came in with your analysis without hearing me at all?
It's the story of my life, Cam.
You came in perfectly. There was no interruption. That's why I didn't know. I believe the broadcast heard me, but you guys didn't. I apologize. Great start to a Monday night. We'll get to Shabazz Synergy's dreads and Charles' prediction in a moment. But first, it's Cade Stevens from Eric Price, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the SFL this season. Price at 64%.
Yeah, and Cade Stevens is one of the better wide receivers in the league. Doesn't have a touchdown yet this season, and I'm sure he's trying his darndest to get one tonight.
Now let's go back to your prediction possibility here. You've got Amelia Rose with a potential game-winning field goal. Is that right?
No, I've got Richards with the game-winning field goal, but Zero with 2 touchdowns.
We'll see. There you go. All right, so we'll see if Mike St. Green or Charles can get more correct tonight as Nick Fargo makes the tackle there on Aaron Alexander. And back to Shabazz Synergy, Charles. I don't know if you saw, but he's rocking a shaved head with dreads out the back. I've never seen that before. You're a fashionista, so how do you perceive that look?
It's a statement, and he's trying to send a message. I'm not sure what the message is, but it's a message nonetheless.
Bacon on the carry picks up 3. Fort Worth's offense includes Eric Price, Jet Zero, Jay-Z Bacon, and Aaron Alexander in the backfield. The receiving core, Henry McGee, Cade Stevens, and Stephen Hacker at the wideout spots. Robert Garrett Jr., James Jennings at tight end. We'll get to the line in a moment as Eric Price's pass is caught by Robert Garrett Jr. to the DC 40-yard line.
All right, so far Eric Price is just slicing up that field with those accurate passes, and the receivers are doing their darndest to help him as well with some crisp route running.
Since we last saw Fort Worth, Charles, which was that nail-biting loss to the Carolina Skyhawks, Fort Worth has been playing some really good football. I feel like they've gotten Eric Price in this pass game dialed in.
Yeah, they needed to do a little fine-tuning. You know, they've one of the better, most stable franchises in the league. I mean, they know what they're doing, and it's showing on the field.
Trips off the right side for Price. They'll toss it that direction, and Jay-Z Bacon's got a lot of room. He picks up 3. Nice closing speed there from Peanut Say, and the rest of this DC Dragons defense includes Kano Fortson, John Gary, Mike Wagoner, and Michael Percoco on the line. At linebacker, Nick Fargo, Saeed Gore there without straight. Jason Strongbow, he's still inactive. Corners, Jadoobie-Doo and Daryl Bullock is back off the inactive list. The safeties, Billy Beers, Tyler Highfield, Peanut Say, and Kev Say Jr. That's Jet Zero picking up 5 to set up a 3rd and 2.
Yeah, that's Jet Zero low on his shoulder and taking out 2 defenders. And your point when you were reading the roster for the DC defense, Strongbow is one of the highest ranked outside linebackers in the league. It's hurting that he's not out there on the field.
Yeah, he's been a big loss for the Dragons. Their defense has been a little leaky over the past couple of weeks. That pass is incomplete. Not leaky on that play. Knocked away by Jadoobie-Doo. and Tyler Highfield in a combo stop, 4th down.
Yeah, right in the middle of the defenders. I thought they were going to pull it off. Couldn't see it from the angle. The back of the receiver was to us. But man, that was a fight.
Fort Worth could attempt a 50-yard field goal for Amelia Rose to try to get her paid, but instead they're going to punt the football and play field position early on in a scoreless tie. This one is somewhat shanked out of bounds. Not what Rose was looking for on that punt. And now it's up to Shabazz Synergy in this DC offense. 35,471 passing yards for Shabazz Synergy, 10th best in the SFL.
Yeah, very solid. I'm also looking to see what the defense of Fort Worth with those two bookends, Duffy and Gond, his defensive ends, two of the best in the league, and see what kind of havoc they can wreak tonight.
One of the best matchups here on the field tonight is DC's receivers against these Fort Worth defensive backs. A really interesting matchup. So far, it is the Dragons striking first. Connor Weston from Synergy for a 1st down.
That is what you call a calm quarterback in the pocket. Synergy pocket was breaking down. Duffy and Gond was starting to creep up on the quarterback. It just took one step forward, added some time, allowed the receiver to go a little bit more on his route, and you got a 1st down.
1st down to the 33, trips off the left side for DC. Fort Worth showing pressure. They bring it. Sam Harrison breaks a tackle. Harrison is speedy, gets to the outside and gets a very short 7 yards. Sam Harrison is one of the most dynamic players in the SFL.
Yeah, and he had the likes of Jeff Duffy diving at him and had his mitts on him, but was so strong, was able to shake him off and get some extra yardage.
Good start for both offenses in this game. As Synergy will go back under center, out of the eye. 8 in the box for Fort Worth. Synergy takes off, keeps it himself.
That's close.
And I'm not so sure about that one. Ben Stone with the stop.
His big toe crossed over. I think that's the only thing.
Fort Worth might just be keeping it in their pocket for later on in this game, very early here in the ball game. Shabazz Synergy, Kevin Say, Sam Harrison, Chuck Stellar in the backfield. As the pitch goes to Stellar, the fullback. They love that play here in DC. Fort Worth's defenders run into each other, and Stellar with a monster gain.
5'11", 240, my kind of player, the fullback, short. He's very powerful and just stiff arms the defender into oblivion. Oh, he just gets those extra yards, and thank goodness that they Adam Leach was able to come from the other side of the field and bring him down.
Yeah, terrible angle there from one of the Fort Worth defenders. The receiving core of this DC Dragons team: Ronnie Shanahan, Connor Weston, B. Robo, Jay Hayden, and Lauren Percoco. No contracted linemen on this team, but DC has managed quite well despite it. Harrison picks up 3 yards. It looks like he is getting the starting nod tonight against Fort Worth, maybe trying to use speed over strength.
Yeah, a lot of tackles here for the Fort Worth defense are getting shaken off and putting extra yards on the for the offense. And I know the defensive coordinator's probably having fits there on the sidelines.
Out of the eye, 2nd down and 7. This is Kevin Say's first carry, and he is met almost immediately by Delaney Nash to set up a 3rd down and 8. Ben Stone checked that, and could the Toros do exactly what the Dragons defense did on that first drive, stop them right outside of field goal range?
I'm sure they want to. It looks like they're showing man-to-man here.
4 wide, 3 by 1. Shabazz rolls to the strong side, fires down the field, caught by Robo into the red zone. 1st down, DC.
You got to see this replay, Cam. Sam Harrison did the block of the night on that rollout, took out the defensive end. What a block.
That was on.
Amazing.
Go ahead, Charles.
No, please, go ahead.
That was on Jeff Duffy. Duffy chasing a couple of big milestones tonight. He's 3 tackles away from 500 in his career, and he's 2 sacks away, as Say's going to be dropped for a loss, from surpassing Taekwon Hale for 3rd all-time in sacks with 139. So the fact that Sam Harrison was able to clip him is even a bigger accomplishment given the circumstance.
Most definitely.
6'5", 315, getting clipped by 6', 200. Synergy's pass inside the 5, down to the goal line. First and goal, Connor Weston.
Yeah, I mean, that was a close one. Could have been, you could argue that made it into the end zone, but what a great pass by Synergy. Both of these quarterbacks are very accurate so far tonight, and the offensive line is helping them. Look at that, right in between the defenders. Couldn't ask for a better pass.
Synergy is 3 for 3 for 51 yards. Price 2 for 3 for 36 yards on each team's opening possession. Synergy, watch the sneak. Nope, going to hand it off. That's Kevin Say. He walks it on in. Touchdown. Kevin Say ties the legend Pete Bruschi for 15th all-time in rushing touchdowns. That's Say's 95th of his career.
That's amazing. And the offensive line for that series executed perfectly, both in passing and in running, except with exception of that one pitch play to the outside that kind of broke down. You know, that everything else was spotless.
7-0 DC now. You mentioned earlier as the Dragons cap a 10-play, 83-yard drive about Fort Worth's road record. It is pretty impressive. They've won 48% of their games all time in team history on the road. That's 4th best in the SFL. I mean, if you're going 3-3 on the road, you're usually going 9-3, 8-4 every season, though, things like that. And it's been pretty impressive what they've been able to put together away from home.
Definitely. I mean, and that's the markings of a good team. If you can win on the road, you know, the ones that win championships have good records on the road, and you know, Fort Worth is one of the best.
Meanwhile, the DC Dragons inexplicably not very good in this building. 37-33 all time at home. Their road record is actually almost better than their home record, and for a team that hasn't had a losing season since season 18, that's pretty unusual too. So Fort Worth, as Eric Price hits Stephen Hacker for a first down, is one of the reasons they are favored by 4.5 tonight by Jack's data.
They overloaded the blitz at the top of the screen, and you don't do that when you're doing on the same side Hacker is running a route, because he's going to make you pay for it. Right there, wide open, and number 28, Darrell Bullock, had to come in and save the day. It was only one defender between Hacker and the end zone.
Yeah, that's a good point, Charles. I think there's not. I can think of maybe a handful of other people. Well, I'll get back to that in a minute as that pass is knocked away. What I was trying to say, Charles, is I can't think of more of a few people. Just take it. Just take it from me. I can't get it out.
There's not many wide receivers in the league, and Hacker is one of them that you don't want to leave alone on the side of the field.
Perfect. There you go. Here, you want to do play-by-play tonight?
No.
2nd and 10. Maybe I should just stick to play-by-play since I'm obviously not analyzing very well. JZ Bacon picks up 5.
I think I make you nervous. Because you never know what's going to come out of my mouth.
That is very true, especially after last week.
I didn't get a call from Mike, so I guess I was okay.
Yeah, I think you're okay. 3rd down and 5, 2:35 to go in the first quarter. Roll out for Price. Has a lot of time. Fires over the middle. I don't know how he fit that into Stephen Hacker. First down.
And when he was doing that rollout, set up great blocking. Plenty of time. I wasn't going to go for that wide receiver. I mean, Henry McGee was wide open, another 5-10 yards down the field. But he was able, with his accuracy, to just laser throw it in between the defenders, and we're looking at a first down.
Trips right again here for Eric Price. Looks like man coverage. In a dime look, Saeed Gore is going to bring some pressure up the middle. It's picked up. That pass caught by Hacker. They are leaving Stephen Hacker on an island. He is burning them already. His 3rd catch tonight.
He's 6'5". He's a tall drink of water when it comes to wide receivers. And the thing that makes him so impressive, he's a great route runner, but he's also so physical. If it's a one-on-one matchup, 9 out of 10 times, Stephen Hacker is going to bring it in.
You wonder how the game plan changed with Darrell Bullock back in the lineup. Right now, the corner leads the Dragons in tackles, having to deal with Stephen Hacker in a lot of one-on-one situations. Price picks up 6 on the carry.
A good coverage downfield, and Price had the wherewithal to know it wasn't going to work out and just ran and got a couple yards, and we're looking at second and manageable.
1:25 to go in the first quarter, 2nd down and 4. Handoff to Jet Zero, still looking for his first touchdown of the season.
Come on, Jet.
He'll get to 3rd and short.
Come on, Jet, don't make me look dumb.
Hey, even I'm pulling for Jet. I mean, when you've been running as well as he has all season long, to not have a touchdown is frustrating.
Right in Jet territory here, what they do.
3rd down and 1, under a minute to go. Fort Worth, another great drive into the red zone for the first time tonight. Handoff to Bacon. He's got a 1st down, picked up a nice block to the 10-yard line.
And that's not taking anything away from J.Z. Bacon either. We just want to get, J.Z. Bacon's already has at least 1 touchdown in his pocketbook. We want to get Jet a couple too.
Aaron Alexander with that block, but also Frank Burks at the end of the play, the guard with the cleanup duty. Also guard Jaleel LaRue, tackle Emilio Panda, and tackle Duke LaRue on this offensive front for Fort Worth to keep an eye on. That pass is picked off by Peanut Say. The drive surprisingly stopped, halted by the Dragon defense.
3rd interception for Peanut this season, and all he did was go back into zone coverage, just stand his ground and read the eyes of the quarterback and make him pay for it. I don't think he saw Peanut stay standing there in the end zone.
Fort Worth, just 5 turnovers coming into the night. Their franchise low for a season is 13, and they're almost halfway through this campaign. A rare turnover there from the Toros gives the ball back to the Dragons at the 20-yard line. 2 receivers and 2 backs in the backfield. Synergy facing pressure, and that pass was nearly intercepted. Fort Worth runs an exotic package there to force 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and we almost had a turnabout there, but man, back to your point, that's a kick in the gut when you have such a strong drive down the field and you get an interception in the end zone. Now it's time for the defense for Fort Worth to do something to help that offense get some momentum back.
2nd down and 10 off of Shabazz Synergy's first incompletion of the night. He'll roll to the trip side and fire down the field to Lauren Percoco. She breaks a tackle, 1st down to the Fort Worth 45-yard line, her first target tonight.
Another great pass by Synergy. Just threw it up, lofted it over the right shoulder of Percoco. Had a step, the safety had to come over to cover. The zone let her slip through into the void and was able to find an opening, and Synergy saw it and made him pay for it.
That's the end of the first quarter of play. Fort Worth nothing, DC 7. The Dogs at home up by a touchdown and driving. You're watching the Monday Night Spectacular, Season 24, Week 7 edition, right here on the Virtual Football Network, along with Justin Reside, Ron Haynes, and our stats truck. Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk back at the studios for Half and Post. Charles Doherty, Cameron Irvine with you. Your full Monday Night Spectacular crew here with you on this big night. A pair of teams at 3-2. Kevin Say picks up 5. We've not yet had a chance to introduce the Fort Worth defense. Up front, Jeff Duffy, Jerry D. Gond, and Luther Gond. Linebackers, E.K. Vincent and Dexter Jackson. Boy, there's only 2 of them out there, but they hold it down. In the secondary, Tavius Gordon, Adam Leach, Aiden Davis, Ben Stone, Zion Waddles, and Delaney Nash. 2nd and 5. Fort Worth crashed down, and Chuck Steller ran right past him.
I read that perfectly. They brought the kitchen sink up the middle, and DC read it pre-snap and just pitched it outside and got a good run.
DC Dragons offense has compiled 130 yards on 9.3 yards a play in this first half. They're doing whatever they want. Synergy to throw. Connor Weston. That was pretty down near the 20-yard line.
Another accurate pass by Synergy. I mean, he's on fire tonight. So he can put the ball wherever he wants to. He can put it in somebody's pocket.
And he had to put that high because Dexter Jackson is a ferocious defender. That was just well placed.
Yeah, that's crazy. The passing tonight for Synergy is as far as accuracy, is one of his best nights I've seen.
5 of 6 for 103 yards to start. Synergy rolls to his left now. Fires to Robo. Caught at the 3-yard line.
That is crazy. I mean, if I was a quarterback in this league, I'd love to have the likes of Percoco and Robo and Weston. I mean, and Shanahan. They are stacked. It's like pick your poison.
Yeah, the DC Dragons taking a pretty aggressive approach against a very good secondary. It's working. Synergy, not much room there on the sneak. Eventually brought down by Vincent.
I see what you're talking about with the dread sticking out the back of the helmet.
Yeah, with a shaved head. I mean, I don't even know how you pull that off.
When was the last time you saw him off the field?
A couple months ago.
Was he rocking dreads?
You know what? I think he'd look really good in dreads, if I'm being honest. Synergy escapes and slides into the end zone. Cool, calm, and collected. Shabazz for the touchdown.
And his dreads were blowing in the wind when he was running into that end zone. Great blocking on the edge. The defenders, they were looking for deep in the end zone, covering all their players on offense, and just let the quarterback slide in.
So it's 13-0 early for the DC Dragons, and I mean, they're doing it all. Say's got 4 carries, Synergy 3, Harrison 2, Stellar 2. 3 different players have a catch. Synergy only has 1 incompletion, and they're averaging just buku yards a play on that drive. They average 10 yards a play. Fort Worth needs an answer, and fast.
And they're doing it. DC's doing it up against a stout defense for the Toros.
Kick is away. It'll be returned by Cade Stevens. And Cade Stevens gets it up to the 28-yard line. You know, Charles, we unfortunately lost another member of our community earlier this season, Carolina's Ibariam England. But, there's people in our community that have lost people very close to them as well, and that's one of the reasons why these two teams are playing this season. That's one of the reasons why these two teams are playing on a Monday Night Spectacular. The Fort Worth Toros owner, Luis Gonzalez, lost his father last season. Shabazz Synergy lost his mother a few months ago. And I know that our statistician, Justin Reside, lost his very good friend, Casey Mears. And so, it's tough to suffer through loss. And this is a moment for everyone out there to know that you're not alone, and the SFL community has your back. If you lost someone that wasn't necessarily in the league and you're thinking about them tonight, please let us know in the chat. But we want everybody in our SFL family to feel like we have their backs too, as Jet Zero picks up a handful of yards to set up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, I don't know how to follow that, Cam. All I can say is that, to your point, the SFL is a family, and we've seen countless examples of people that have been struggling, and the SFL is there to help. We're a family.
Russell Brazo in the chat. I lost my grandma right before Christmas. My grandma's getting up there too. I lost my grandfather about 5 years ago, and that was tough. As Hacker picks up a first down, so we're all here for each other. And Eric Price hoping that his team is here for him tonight to pick him up down 14-0. Looks like Coach Synergy for DC is going to be challenging the spot of this football. We'll take a retroactive look at the play presented by Retro.
That was close. My first impression is I think it's 50-50. It's before the before the instant replay.
I think he got it.
Yeah. Oh, the football right there.
And that's close. If we had the other angle, maybe. Let's see.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow. Okay, so DC ends up winning the challenge. That's a little surprising. Didn't see it. That's going to bring up 4th and inches. And Fort Worth, for the first time tonight, will stall in their own territory.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't get that, Charles. I mean, the ball's right on the line. That's just crazy.
Yeah. Maybe they're afraid of the dragons that are flying over the stadium.
They were the original OGs of the statues outside the stadiums. LA and Washington can tout theirs all they want, but the DC Dragons knew what was up a long time ago.
Got ourselves a game, Cam. I mean, it's 14 points against 0 to Fort Worth, but there's plenty of time left, and with the exception of 1 or 2 mistakes, Fort Worth can turn it around.
I know that BJ Loveless of Minnesota has lost a few people in his life recently. I saw a recent Facebook post about that, so BJ, we're thinking about you tonight as well. Hope you're doing good, man. Lauren Prococo goes in motion from left to right, 6:33 to go in the first half. Toss play to Chuck Steller, and this time, Fort Worth all over it. Well defended, loss of 2.
Duffy set it up. He held on just long enough to get some help behind and bring it down.
BJ in a chat right on cue. Losing my brother the day before the 2023 convention was rough, and still dealing with it and deciding to still stay for the convention. The SFL helped me more than many will ever know. As Harrison spins and gets to about the 30-yard line to bring up 3rd and 6. 6 minutes to go. This feels like a critical third down stop for the Toros right here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I'd like to see some pressure. I mean, you've got those 2 stalwart defensive ends. Let's bring someone else in there, maybe up the middle, see if they can disrupt the flow.
3rd and 6, 5:40 to go in the first half. Pass caught by Robo, just sticking out the paw and bringing it in. What are the Toros going to have to do to stop these guys tonight?
Well, I think they need to maybe ease up on the zone coverage and be a little more aggressive man-to-man, maybe bumping at the line, disrupting the routes of the wide receivers. So far, the wide receivers for DC are having their way, and they're finding, the voids there in the zone coverage.
I saw the banner for Chuck Steller back there, Truck and Chuck. I love it. Here he goes, Truck and Chuck, breaking a tackle and picking up 1.
A couple to bring him down. Aiden Davis wrapped him up at the end, but man, it looked like he was going to break it again.
But I agree with you, Charles. This Fort Worth team getting burned by this zone. DC averaging 29.4 points per game this season. Their best mark since season 19. They've already got 14 on the board here tonight. Steller only picks up another yard. It'll set up a 3rd down and 8. That's unfamiliar territory for the Dragons, but they're 2 for 2 on 3rd down so far.
Yeah, don't be safe on this. I think they need to be aggressive. No, it looks like they're not. They're going safe.
Well, here we go, 5 wide, and it does look like some man coverage. Yeah, there it goes there for Fort Worth. Everybody's manned up across the board with 2 deep safeties. 3rd down and 8. Synergy to throw, fires, that pass is picked off. There you go, Charles. They manned up, they made the play. Adam Leach with the interception.
Well, yeah, not quite like I mapped it out, but hey, I've been wrong before. I thought they were going to tear it up. They were lining up like 10 deep, Cam, 10 yards deep. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's not going to turn out well. But they just, I guess they saw something that I didn't see, and they made them pay for it.
They were waiting for it. Fort Worth's defense with their 8th interception. 2nd for Leach to join Jackson and Nash, who each have 2. That's tied for 14th in the SFL coming in. DC's leaders on defense also only have 2. That's Jadoobie Doo and Peanut Say, who got his 3rd earlier tonight. 1st and 10 of the Dragon 47. Now with a little bit of momentum for the Toros as Bacon will scamper for 5.
That's a good way to keep it going, Cam. Go 5 yards on 1st down. Was able to get right between, right on the edge there, go straight up the field and get 5 without anybody touching him till the end.
4 minutes to go in the first half. That interception keeping Fort Worth in this one here. The Dragons up 14. The Toros on DC's side of the field for the 3rd time in this game. Jet 0 squeezing through a tight window to set up 3rd and short.
And for the viewers at home for halftime, do not be distracted by Tyler's 5-day lack of shaving.
As a military man, it really bugs you, doesn't it, Charles?
Yes. Well, whatever. I'm not in the military anymore, but he can do whatever he wants.
Jay-Z Bacon gets a 1st down. All I know, Charles, is if you were my dad, you'd be furious at me pretty much every day of the week.
Him.
I know what.
Your dad's proud of you. Daddy's proud of you.
First and 10. 3 minutes to go in the first half. You know, I heard you say that to me in a dream once. I never thought it would come to life.
Oh, okay.
Price
Right,
back to pass. Fires, caught by Hacker to the 12.
Hacker. Look at that. I mean, that wasn't an exotic route at all. Just run straight down the field. You know, look back at the quarterback, put your hand up in the air, and he's going to put it where he needs to. And if he doesn't, Hacker's going to beat you up and grab it.
And the chat needs to slow their roll. No offense to my dad, who's also named Michael. There's no way I'm naming my first son Mike. There's too many Mikes. It's
going to be Charles.
Hey, it has a greater odd than Mike, I'll tell you that. Hand off to Bacon inside the 10. Bacon spins in and scores. What a run for Jay-Z Bacon. That is touchdown number 2 for him this season, and Fort Worth is right back in it.
Blocking by, I don't know if that was LaRue or Burks in the middle there, but whoever it was just set a perfect opening in that gap. And he did a little premature spin, but hey, that's what, you know, how you get a highlight reel. Right up the middle, untouched. Great drive there by Fort Worth.
Fort Worth takes the interception and drives 47 yards in just 5 plays. Another drive where the offense has averaged about 10 plays, or 10 yards rather, per play on the drive. Fort Worth right back in this ball game. What a huge momentum swing.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, all across the board, I think quarterback through offensive line, wide receivers, the wide receivers were blocking their tails off. And the running backs, when they got the ball, they made them pay.
Coming up on the Monday Night Spectacular halftime report, Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk have a recap of the first half in D.C. Team grades for all 25 SFL teams. Rapid fire. Okay, guys, whatever you say. Let's see what happens there. One team that has exceeded expectations so far. That and more on the Monday Night Spectacular halftime report. Don't keep us waiting, fellas. Got a good one here. Lauren Prococo goes in motion from right to left. They toss it opposite direction. Chuck Steller trying to get things moving. I feel like Fort Worth's really kind of got that solved now.
Well, you know, it's still 2 yards. I mean, you're not going to get too mad on first down. Keeps them guessing. As long if they line up in that split, they can go deep when they're expecting a pitch on the outside.
2-minute warning. 14-7. DC on top of the Toros. We got another Classic Brewing on MNS.
I had to read out what MNS meant. I get it now. I get it.
2 receivers. Well, now
acronyms on me.
Now, we got a lot of acronyms around here. Robo's going to come from top to bottom here as Fort Worth chases them across the formation. They try to get Harrison out to the left side, and the Toros were reading that like a book. Dexter Jackson with a TFL.
I mean, they're so talented on the Fort Worth defense. If they tune it up or turn it up a little bit from an aggressive standpoint, I think it's going to pay some dividends. You saw it on that play. They overloaded the top of the screen and just shut it down.
3rd and long. This is the look that created the interception for Synergy. That pass is caught by Weston, but it is short by a yard. Adam Leach, who got the pick, makes the stop, and Fort Worth will get to sit on their 3 timeouts and maybe do something with it in the final minute.
And that was textbook coverage there by Leach. There was no chance for the wide receiver to get the ball. Let me say, ball past the first down marker.
Yeah, it's pretty. They got a generous spot, but it's not close.
Afraid you were going to drop an acronym on me.
Nope, not at all. From the 24-yard line, Cade Stevens on the RET. First down at the 32.
It was a Mac muffed analyst commentary.
Oh, we're getting in dangerous territory. You know, Chris Curtis is watching. We don't need to give him any ideas.
Yeah. I can't wait to see Chris Curtis's beard at halftime.
Yeah, how would you describe it?
He's probably lost some power tools around the house, and he's going to find them in his beard.
You know, if he was an Oreo, he'd definitely be the golden one. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Four receivers, three
like
by
a white
one.
paintbrush.
Eric Price back to pass.
Oh,
that
there you
pass is caught. They're going to take a timeout. Yes, they are. What'd you say about a paintbrush?
It looked like a white paintbrush.
You know, I got to give that guy a ton of credit. He's one of the best people.
We
to
love Curtis. Why don't we call him the logo anymore?
Yeah, he needs to go back to Queen City to recapture that look. Pass is knocked away. That's Saeed Gore jumping up and making the play. Nobody takes a joke better than Chris Curtis. That's what makes him so lovable.
That's the marking of a fine person, when you can laugh at other people and yourself as well.
That's right.
We got more coming for you there, Curtis. Just stand by.
3rd and 3, 46 seconds to go. Eric Price drops a throw, and he's sacked. The defensive lines have been quiet tonight, but Kano Fortson comes in and makes the play for DC.
Man, makes his 3rd sack of the season, and that was just a beeline to the QB. I don't think anybody touched him when he got through that line. Well, he did right at the last second, but I don't know what LaRue was thinking of. You need to lay that guy out when he's coming at your quarterback.
Yeah, swipe the hands of Duke, and unfortunately for Fort Worth, their opportunity to go down and potentially tie this game ripped away. Price in the first half. Say again?
That was an angry play.
It was. Price in the first half, 8 of 12 for 104 yards. No touchdowns, still that one interception. As Harrison, an always dangerous returner, is going to get it up to the 29-yard line with 1 second left. Synergy, 8 of 10 for 135 yards, and it's kind of crazy. 3 touchdowns on the board, Charles, and for as well as both quarterbacks have played, none of them have come off their arms.
What's the acronym for when the analyst talks over the play-by-play? There's got to be something in the biz. No,
I can't think of anything. I mean, whatever was going to come out of my mouth was going to be way too mean for the moment. That is something that I didn't mean. Chuck Steller picks up 4, and that's the end of the first half.
It was a great first half. I mean, these both DC and Fort Worth have a shot at winning this one. It's a close one. They're both the playbooks on both sides are well thought out. They put a lot of time into it. They're going to need to make some adjustments on the Fort Worth side. I'm thinking that they need to get a little bit more aggressive on defense. The offense, I think, is okay. DC is, they just got to keep Fort Worth from staying in the game. Their offense is clicking. Synergy is just on fire with an 80% completion. He did throw 1 interception, but man, Shabazz Synergy, you give him time, especially tonight, he's going to make you pay. The offensive line for DC is doing what they need to do. And it's just what kind of adjustments we see coming out in half, Cam.
Let's check in on Charles's predictions before the game so that he can't respond right before halftime. No field goals attempted in this game, and Jet Zero has no touchdowns. Peanut Say is your player of the first half. Let's take a halftime break, presented by Brakes GPT.
Just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey? It's an Aaron Rodgers. Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
And with that, welcome into the Monday Night Spectacular Halftime Report. I am Albino Santa or Golden Oreo or whatever Charles decided to call me during the first half. I'm Chris Curtis. I'm alongside Tyler Falcon. Tyler, a first half in DC, a quiet defensive line from really both sides. You'd think they maybe would have made a bigger impact, but both teams playing a nice, hard, competitive game.
I mean, you say quiet defensive line, but that's just kind of the style of football that both Fort Worth and DC are known for. They don't like to do any no mess, no frills, and keep things nip and tuck, keep the game close. And that's what we have here, a 14-7 game with DC out in front, and it's largely due to the fact that while we've seen only 2 turnovers, 1 by each team, and not a whole lot of tackles behind the line, we have seen just solid defensive play, great coverage in both teams' secondaries, and just a whole lot of nothing for these offenses to get things done. So kudos again for both game plans, but right now DC having the early lead because they've been able to execute a bit more.
Fair enough. It's been a bit like I think it was Cameron that said it was a bit of the nip and tuck kind of first half and a 14-7 lead for DC going into the third quarter. We'll see how that shakes out in our nation's capital. Looking at the next part of our evening. So this is where you would probably want to get a drink of water and get yourself going, but we'll try to make it as rapid fire as we can. We want to go through the 25 SFL teams, give very short team grades for how they're at pretty much at the halfway mark of the season. No M&S next week, so we got to make it do what we can. So that said, we're going to start out west, and so we'll go from the bottom to the top, and we're going to start with the you know what, we'll start with LA right now 2-5. Give me a teammate grade A through F.
Because LA's had, make it quick, because LA's had so much higher expectations, and yet again they're just showing us that nothing has really changed. I'm gonna say C-.
C-. Okay. I would give a D in that department. Arizona.
Let's see. I'm gonna say D- for Arizona. Just not playing up to par, and we saw it last week with Carolina.
Agreed. Yeah, sitting at 2-3, I would agree. D- for them is probably pretty fair.
D-, not B. D-.
Yeah, D. That's what I said. Yep.
Okay.
Sin City sitting at 3-3. I think they are transitioning. I'm going to give them probably a C.
I'm giving them a C-, just because they've been unable to really take the reins this season and really trying to emphasize it. Again, it's a far cry from back-to-back seasons where they were nigh perfect in both seasons. It's not been the Sin City / Canton franchise we've come to know and love.
Washington Trident, I would say that they, by record, have exceeded expectations, but there's some ways they can improve. I'm going to go with a solid B.
I'm going to say A-. They have, from all the different tumultuous past seasons, from St. Louis to Motor City to Washington, maybe this is finally their home, and maybe this is finally their time. And right now they are playing some very good football. And I'm going to already cut into the last part of our segment here. This is the most improved team out of there this past season. They came into this season with a great plan, and they're executing probably better than anybody else. They beat out the team that I thought was going to be my most improved team, which is Denver. They're a very close second. So I think they're definitely overachieving. I definitely think they are really contenders here for the postseason.
Do they revert back to the mean is the question. Vancouver sitting at 5-1. I'm going to give these guys a solid A-.
I'm right there with you. Solid A-. Much better performance than seasons past. They're really locked in this season.
Yep. Okay. Let's move to the South, which is easily probably one of the better competitive divisions in the SFL. Houston at 3-3. They're in a tough division. Got to give them probably a C+.
I'm right there with you, C+. Again, isn't this where we always find Houston, though? Right around 500, and then they get the back half of the schedule, and then they either sink or swim. It's more of the same for H-Town.
Yeah, C's get degrees, though. Let's talk about that. Mexico City, 3-2 right now. I would say hard to beat the expectations of being a champion. Let's give them a B-.
I'll go solid. A solid B for them, just because that they have to live up to expectations, and some teams do it better than others. It's been a rocky start, but still plenty of football left for them.
One of our teams tonight, Fort Worth, sitting at 3-2. I would give these guys probably a solid C.
I'm sticking with the C right there. Let's see if they can maybe control things a bit better here in the second half.
Let's see if we can combo Bossier City and Albuquerque. Bossier City and Albuquerque both, I think, have exceeded expectations this season. I am going to go a B+ for Bossier City, and I'm going to go with an A- for Albuquerque.
B-, B. For Albuquerque. B. Albuquerque already be in there. Bossier City, couple of good wins, a couple of nasty losses for BCS.
Okay, we're almost at the halfway point. North Division. Pittsburgh, 2-4. I would probably say these guys deserve a C-.
C-. Yep.
Queen City has exceeded expectations. Their expectations were in the toilet. There's no doubt about that, but they're sitting at 3-4. I give these guys a solid B.
When you're 0-12, any way to go is up, and a really good start to the season for them, B.
Yep. 3-3, Lexington, Gabriel Manning and Company. 3-3, C.
C-. Just what's going on there? They're hot and they're cold. Yes, then no. Come on. Don't make me say the whole song now.
The Jekyll and Hyde song. I like it. DC, the other team we're seeing tonight, 3-2 currently. I like these guys at probable C+.
Win gives them a B- for me. Loss gives them a C-.
Okay, that's a pretty harsh go. Baltimore, they're expected to be in the conversation just about every single season. They're at 5-2, and they are indeed in the conversation. Can't say much more than that. A- for them.
A- for them. One of the best teams in terms of takeaways this season.
Okay, let's go to the East. We're going to skip Carolina due to conflict of interest. Talking about Nashville, they are 0-6. I say they have fallen off harsh. They are my first F.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. F. There's no else to say it. This is something that needs to change for Nashville.
Yep. I'm going to give Charleston a D+. They're sitting at 2-5, but they have one of their key marquee wins against Carolina. D+ at the moment. That's the thing that's stopping them from being lower.
Carolina and now Queen City in 2 wins. Is this the thing that gets them going? I'm going D+ as well.
Okay. Atlanta 2-3. I would put them. I expected better from them, to be honest with you. I'm probably going to put them at a D.
I'm gonna go C-. There's still a lot, and we thought they would struggle last season, and look what happened. And this season they're a little bit here and there, but I still think Atlanta's here.
So Ron Cochran's been on the injury report as inactive suspended the last couple weeks. He is listed as probable for next week at the moment. And therefore, at 4-2, this is my first A+. Florida has weathered the storm, I think is the good headline for that. 4-2, they're my first A+ for sure.
I'm gonna go A. They're just, again, the Ron Cochran potential being back, the whole coaching situation, just A for weathering the storm. Don't get an A+ because of the situation.
Okay. Fair enough. And again, skipping Carolina. Going up to our last division, Central, another competitive division. OKC, 0-5. They also get an F from me.
Yeah, I mean, you're starting out trying to figure things out. For me, I can't even give them. I can't even give them a grade. I'm going to give them a participation trophy, because right now that's it. They don't even get a football participation trophy. They get a bowling participation trophy.
Only weasels get participation trophies. All right, I'll leave that alone. Chicago, 2-5, sitting right there. Let's go for them. I had better expectations for them. I'll give them a D+.
I'll stick with a D+. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Indy, 2-4. It's a transition season for them, changing ownership, changing some coaches around. I'm still going to probably give them a C-.
I'm giving them a straight up C.
Okay.
This is right where I expected them to be.
Minnesota takes care of business last week against Albuquerque, and I like this team. This team is finding its stride. I'm going to give this team a B at the moment.
B+ for me.
Okay. And exceeding expectations for me, most improved team, one of them anyway, the Denver Night Wings, the last team to talk about. I like these guys and what they've done, beating expectations. I'm going to give them probably a B+.
For me, they're an A. A solid. We saw at the end of last season, the coaching changes start to take a shape a little bit. This season, they've just built upon that, and they're a fun team to watch. And they played against Washington, the team that eventually took my most improved team category. But Denver is a team that's right there with Washington. Expect those 2 teams to be in the postseason.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, so that's our team grades so far. If you love them, if you hate them, tag us on Discord. Tell us what you think. And you can go back and watch through the VOD and see where we're at with everything. Nothing's in text.
And Cam said we wouldn't be able to get this done in time.
I know, right? Exactly. Rapid fire. It worked out. Believe it or not, we're not as long-winded as some other people in this Discord call. Anyway, going back, let's talk about the last topic. And of all the teams that we've talked about, give me the one that has exceeded expectations the most for you.
Exceeded expectations. I again go back to Washington in that regard, just because they have just begun to instill faith in a Denver team that has languished in the doldrums of below 500 for quite some time. You could say Queen City's up there, Bossier City's up there, but Bossier City, they have pedigree. Denver has pedigree, but from a little bit farther back. Whereas Bossier City's had Lone Star. They've had Seattle. They've had teams that have always been close. It's been quite some time since we've seen Denver anywhere around the conversation to playoffs.
Yeah, and the first time in the 2K23 area for sure. So, yeah, absolutely. So that is going to do it. I think it's been a pretty solid show. So we'll see you back here for the post-game show. Headed back to Dracarys Coliseum here in just a moment. 14-7 DC out in front of Fort Worth. Cameron Irvine and Charles Doherty. On the other side, we'll see you guys for post.
Welcome back to Dungeon of Dracarys Coliseum here in the nation's capital. Thank you guys for that great halftime report. And listen, I know that you guys can be very succinct with your halftime shows, but it's extra motivation for me to say you can't do it. It's a lot of reverse psychology, and you know, I've gotten pretty good at it over the years. Charles Doherty knows what I'm talking about. You're doing great tonight, Charles. 14-7 here to start the third.
I got to look up the word succinct and know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Great half from them, Charles. Did you happen to catch any? I know that you were at the concession stand trying to get us some food, but anything that you agreed or disagreed with vehemently?
I'm just happy that Curtis made it through the candy cane forest.
Curtis is going to have to go back and read the chat from halftime and your comments about the different roles he could play. That was very entertaining for me personally, but hopefully he gets to see that as well. We start the second half with a run, 2nd and 8. It's Dragons football.
Hopefully he still talks to me after he reads them.
Synergy, 3-step drop, fires that pass caught by Connor Weston. Weston's 5th grab of the night. He's their leading receiver tonight and just continues to be a revelation for this offense, Charles, because this team did not have the weapons last year to compete.
I know we've been bragging on Synergy all night and the offensive line all night, but man, Connor Weston, you throw it to him, he brings it in. Targeted 7 times, brought it in 5. He's on fire.
First down for the Dragons. Synergy going to drop to throw again. Just gets rid of it, and the pass is caught just shy of the sticks. That's B. Robo. And this team, Charles, so impressive coming into the night. Weston, 24 catches. Robo, 21. Percoco, 20. All of them had 3 touchdowns coming into this game, and we're seeing that balance again tonight.
They've got great rhythm. I mean, it's like Synergy knows where to throw the ball, and the wide receivers are there with their hands wide open, and the ball hits right where they need to be. And it's just, they're executing perfectly, and it's like a symphony so far.
Chuck Stellar with that carry. He's up to 37 yards on 8 carries. He is the game's leading ball carrier right now. 8:20 to go in the third. And DC making quick work out of the locker room. Another toss. This time it's to Stellar's replacement. And he still was able to pick up 7 down the sideline. That's Steven Trejo.
It's amazing how you can find an extra gear when you can hear the hooves of Gond behind you charging at you. He went up to a whole new speed and got 5 extra yards.
That's a great point. The Gond pair, Jerry D and Luther, have combined for 206 total career tackles for loss. As Stellar back in the game, they go back to him. 3rd straight time they've tossed it out that direction. Ben Stone with the tackle. Sometimes, Charles, those pitches can be blown up and picked off. Got to be careful.
Yep, definitely. But you got to take it back, Cam. You said that Fort Worth is starting to get a feel for that pitch play.
That's true. And not here so far in the third quarter. DC going back to it again. Picks up a couple more. Wow, that's surprising.
Buffy or Gon are going to make you pay for it. They'll get the rhythm down and they'll just light you up. Take your milk money.
2nd down and 8. I'm going to go back to the whole milk money comment. Stellar. Oh, perfect. Only lost one. Dexter Jackson with the TFL. is that an elementary school
That's
lunch?
probably way before. That's probably my generation. That was a thing where you had milk money, and the bullies would try and take it from you.
Oh, well, that's just kind of sad. Synergy back to
Yeah.
pass. Throws it. That is caught at the 5-yard line. First and goal. Lauren Percoco.
Synergy's just showing off right now in this drive. Yeah. Anywhere he throws it, it's just hitting the mark, the X mark. He's like Robin Hood out there with a bow and arrow. Anywhere he shoots his arrow, it hits target.
There's Synergy's last 10 passes. That one pick that Fort Worth was able to get on 3rd and long, but otherwise, Shabazz Synergy is locked in right now. First down and goal. Pass caught. There's another arrow to the back of the end zone. That is hauled in by Jay Hayden. Just his 2nd catch of the season and his first for 6.
That's amazing. Yeah. And he was wide open. It looked like he just did a go route right to the back of the end zone, and it looked like there wasn't anyone on him. Wide open. I think that's inexcusable, really.
Fort Worth blows the coverage, and what a start for the Dragons to start the second half. In the first half, they went 10 plays, 83 yards on their opening drive and scored in 3 minutes and 44 seconds. In the second half, they go 10 plays, 68 yards in 3 minutes and 41 seconds, almost identical drives to go up 21-7.
And you can't overlook the job that the offensive line gave. I mean, quarterbacks have great accuracy, but in order to do that, you have to have protection. And man, they're just killing it up front.
Ben Stone on the return up to the 27-yard line, so the Toros will have to come up with an answer. Fort Worth's not played bad football tonight. They're averaging nearly 6 yards a play, 168 yards of offense, on pace for about 370 tonight. They just need a little bit of juice to keep pace here.
And 2 scores for Jet Zero would tie the game up.
Jet Zero tonight, 19 yards, 4 carries. It's been Bacon with 8 carries, 41 yards with the lion's share. 6:15 to go in the third quarter. Handoff. Jay-Z picks up 6, 2nd and 4.
That's a great run on first down. And, I think Fort Worth knows what they need to do. It's just they got to find a way to disrupt that flow of the DC offense.
$5:50 to go in the third quarter. Handoff. Oh, Jet is just stuck in mud in the backfield. John Gary blew that play up to allow Nick Fargo for the TFL.
Yeah, that was a big play there. Fargo had great presence there to know where to close in through that gap and make a loss.
3rd and 6. Roll out Price. Another great block by a back. That pass caught by Henry McGee. Just his 2nd grab of the night. First down, Fort Worth.
A great executed play there by Eric Price. Had to get rid of that ball. I mean, there was some pressure on him. Able to find McGee there right between the 2 defenders and just delivered a laser.
Halfway through the third, the Toros again on the move, just like they were to start the first half. Very similar game playing out, but the Toros have fallen just a little bit too far behind. Price dropping a throw. Alexander picks up the blitz, but the pass is incomplete. Peanut Say with the deflection.
I think both of these teams and the crew at halftime, Tyler and Curtis said this, rather smartly, deftly, that both of these defenses, they're not too aggressive. They just kind of settle in and know what they need to do from a coverage standpoint, and we're seeing that especially here on the DC side. 2nd down 10. Price dropping a throw, has time, fires down the field, caught by Stephen Hacker. First down to the 25-yard line. We've said it all night and all season. He is a one-on-one nightmare. You don't want to have to do that by yourself. I know they say the cornerbacks are islands, but not when you're covering Hacker. You need to have a safety helping you out. Very difficult assignment tonight
for both Darrell Bullock and Peanut Say, who we've seen on Hacker a number of times. 6 catches, 85 yards for Hack Attack, 14,657 yards all time in the SFL. That's 6th coming into the night. Toss out to Jet Zero. Great block. Only springs 0 for a pickup of 3. And we'll see if Fort Worth can string together a touchdown drive here, 23 yards away.
At this point, Cam, they got to at least walk away with 3. They don't want to be too aggressive, and make a mistake possibly, like they did that early possession.
0 picks up 1. That's Fargo on the stop. It's 3rd and 6. Charles. Fort Worth's 5 of 8 on 3rd down.
Well, I mean, who else do you got? Well, you got an option here. I mean, Garrett's been pretty quiet. I mean, I would think, right off the top of my head, you want to go to Hacker, but Garrett, right across the first down marker might be money.
He's at the bottom of the screen, one-on-one here. Price is rolling that direction. Fires down the field. He hits Henry McGee on the backside. 1st and goal at about the 4-yard line.
Or you can hit Henry McGee. I'm not going to complain. It was well executed there, blocking on that rollout, and Eric Price just, pitched it to the open wide receiver.
Eric Price having a pretty good night, too. 7 of his last 10. That interception feels like forever ago. 4 of his passes, 18 yards or more. 4 of his last 5, I should say, completed. 1st down and goal. Could this be 0 time? 3:06 to go in the 3rd quarter. Price changing the play at the line. Now sends Garrett in motion from left to right. Passed off to Dew. 6 on the play clock. Price taking his time. Handoff. Jet Zero. Powering and down at the 1-yard line.
Come on, Jet. I didn't think he was going to get that far, honestly. I thought that was going to be a gain of 0, but was able to power through and get something out of nothing.
2nd and goal for the Toros. 9th play of the drive. Toss. Bacon walks it in. Touchdown. Jay-Z Bacon with 2 tonight. Fort Worth answers back, and it's an 8-point game again.
Yeah, those pitch plays for both offenses are proven to be very successful against the defense tonight.
I just got to say this, Charles. We're being treated, as we have many times this season, to 2 teams that are so clearly and obviously well coached. I mean, we're football purists. Fort Worth's got 21 runs and 16 passes. DC's got 22 runs and 14 passes. Everybody's using all their weapons. Almost every single player in this game has had a touch of some sort of the football. All the defensive players are playing at their best. This is a fun game to watch when it looks like this.
I mean, if you're going to pick a game for MNS, this is the one you want.
That was nicely done, Charles. I liked it. Week 8 gets started on Friday with the WSKS. Just kidding. The Matt Wilson SFL kickoff show at 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Mike and Gerald get you ready for another weekend slate of games. Friday features 3 games headlined by the Sin City Samurai facing the Los Angeles Lycans in a West Division tilt, plus Florida Lexington and Queen City Nashville. It's all right here on the FM. Handoff. Kevin Say picks up 5 to start the drive.
They've been very successful running up the middle tonight. I mean, at least the first 5 yards, they decide going on in that A gap. I haven't seen the Fort Worth defense able to shut that down.
Well, DC's run game, we see some teams sometimes one-dimensional. They can run it outside. They can run it inside. I imagine is very difficult to game plan for, as Synergy's pass is dangerous, looking for Percoco, blanketed by Delaney Nash.
Yeah, blanketed is a great term, because he had his back to the defender and was just reading the back to the receiver, was reading the eyes of the receiver and just put his hands up there at the last second. I don't know how those veteran defensive backs are able to time it that way.
The 6th third down attempt for DC tonight. Fort Worth is number 1 in the league, forcing their opponents to nearly 10 third down attempts per game. 3rd and 5 here for Synergy and the Dragons. Dropping a throw. Shabazz escapes off his back foot, across his body, and a hit comes early. pass interference. Just didn't have to do that, Charles.
I got to see it. It happened fast. Did he hit him in the back when he was trying to catch the ball?
Yes, Aiden Davis. Watch him. He's just going to come in just a little too early.
I don't know. That was close.
Looked like he attacked the player, not the ball. That may be what the ref saw. Tough break.
It's moving so fast, Cam. You got to figure out, are you going to try and disrupt the ball, or you're going to try and bring the wide receiver down?
It's a tough job being a DB, especially in this day and age. Synergy with split backs. Look for the toss here. Nope, they're going to hand it off up the middle to Chuck Stellar. DC mixing it up, keeping the Toros on their toes, picks up 4.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you're only getting 4 yards, 5 yards, but that's actually this time of the game. You're eating up clock there. Fort Worth needs to shut down that inside.
Splits again here for the Dragons. Toss. That is Trejo picking up a couple. 3rd and 4.
It'll work. Fort Worth's got to dig it in. Got to get that ball back in the offense hands. 3rd down here, Cam.
3rd and 4 for the Dragons. 4 for 6 tonight. Synergy to throw. Synergy going to be sacked. What a huge play by McLaughlin right up the gut. Fort Worth went heavy up front, and DC paid for it.
Love that call, Cam. Love that call. Every time they overload a side, it's money. I mean, I think they've seen something here, and hopefully we see more of that this half.
Both teams wanting a win here tonight means a great deal in the standings of their respective divisions as that ball bounces into the end zone. For Fort Worth, they're in a mess in the South, Charles, but they're only currently a game back of Albuquerque for that first spot. If they win tonight, they'll only be a half game back. Don't want to fall behind. DC is just a game back of Baltimore, your current leader in the North, and a win tonight for them would move them just a half game back of their division leader. So both teams in the same position. Eric Price's pass is caught by Hacker right over the helmet of the defender, Peanuts say.
Perfect timing there. And again, not an exotic route by Hacker, and that's the luxury of having, and I hate to keep bragging on Hacker, but man, he's so effective. You don't have to put him on an exotic route. You just throw it up to him. If it's one-on-one coverage, he's going to fight for it.
Charles, we see a lot of players in this league, and we can spot a superstar when we see one, right? I mean, he's just tonight seems like the best player on the field as Bacon takes the handoff to end the 3rd quarter.
He's been targeted 9 times, caught 7 of them, and I think those 2 that he didn't get weren't even in his zip code.
End of the 3rd. What a good one here. Fort Worth 14, DC 21. You're watching the Monday Night Spectacular here on the Virtual Football Network. Ron Haynes, Justin Reside in the stats truck. Charles Doherty, Cameron Irvine with you. Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk will have postgame. Preview next week's slate of action, which does not include a Monday Night Spectacular, as Jay-Z Bacon picks up a yard, 3rd and 6.
All right, Fort Worth, let's see what you're going to do here. Plenty of options. I mean, they can, if they send a receiver across the middle at every level, I think they'll be okay. Garrett short, Hacker middle, and Cade deep.
3rd down and 6. DC brings 5. Price has time, and the pass is incomplete. I thought it was going to get through there to McGee, but Jadooby-Doo knocks it away.
Jadooby-Doo there. But perfect coverage. I thought maybe a little more touch on that ball. We might have been looking at a different outcome, but, man, good coverage by Doo.
Fort Worth will have to punt it away. It felt like that was an opportunity missed for the Toros trying to come back in this one. Deep kick to the 19-yard line. Sam Harrison, dangerous returner, quickly grabbed down by the ankles. 9:24 left. Here's your updated stats. DC still with the slight edge, including on the board as well.
And Shabazz has not cooled off on his completion accuracy either. He's still at 80%, dreadlocks and all.
.24 to go in the fourth quarter. Tension here. You just know this game's going to come back in tiebreakers this postseason. It just feels like one of those type of games. Fort Worth brought everybody except for 3, and Robo hauls it in for a pickup of 7. Wow, the calmness from Shabazz in the pocket.
I don't hate that call on defense, but they got to execute a little quicker. You can't give Shabazz that much time, especially tonight with the way that offensive line's blocking.
2nd down and 3. Handoff. Say, blown up by Duffy. Didn't make the tackle, but made the play. Stone with the stop.
I just keep the knob all the way up. You need to keep the heat on that offensive DC.
How is this one going to end? Man, this is exciting stuff. 3rd and 3. Another 3rd down for the Dragons. 8.5 to go. Handoff, middle. Chuck Steller is stonewalled at the line. Aiden Davis brings him up short.
That was close, Cam, but man, what a hit. Yeah, I'd challenge that too, but you're hitting Chuck Steller. That is a lot of rib roast you're hitting.
Yeah, it's a big moment in the game, Charles. I think you have to challenge, especially because you're leading right now. This is going to be close. First glance, I didn't think he got it.
I think he did. Let's see. Yeah, maybe he didn't. That's close. Maybe at the last second he got it.
That'd be tough to overturn. They might just move it forward.
And not give him the first?
No, they're going to, it's just simply stand. So DC loses a timeout, but I think it was a worthwhile challenge there, considering the tightness of this game.
Only bad part, well, yeah, I guess. I mean, they're gonna punt it. So the defense, I like it. They were a little more aggressive, and now they're getting the ball back. It was a huge stand for Fort Worth.
Mike St. Green's prediction before the game started was 27-24, so a little bit more needed out of this last 8:13 to get there. We're certainly hitting the under. And Fort Worth is most certainly not covering right now. Down a touchdown. We'll see if Eric Price can change that on this drive.
I think he needs to, keep it mixed up. A balance of run the outside, run the middle, maybe some. What we haven't seen a lot, Cam, tonight is some swing passes to the outside.
Yeah, that's true, and we're going to have to pay attention to see if the flats are open. This is a draw play to Bacon. Haven't seen that either. That picks up a couple, but DC sniffed it out pretty quick.
Yeah, definitely. They read that one, but it's I think at this point of the game, putting that card on the table is just enough to keep DC guessing.
7:50 to go in the fourth. Toss. That's a DC Dragon play as Zero picks up a few. That's to the running back, however. 3rd down and 5. Yet another crucial 4th down in this fourth quarter. The Toros 6 for 10 on the game.
Last time they threw it deep. I mean, they've got some great wide receivers. They should put them on some short to medium routes and capitalize.
Henry McGee goes in motion. 3-by-1. Short side right. Eric Price fires. It is incomplete. Stephen Hacker was the intended target. And Jadooby-Doo, how do you do? 4th down.
Exactly. Another great defense by Doo. Blanketing an all-star future Hall of Fame. What, is he a Hall of Famer yet? Hacker? No.
Certainly working on it.
He's working on it. Come on, Hacker. Quit messing around.
But that was probably the best defensive play of the night from the Dragons. Extremely timely and against who has been the best player on the field tonight. Hacker, 103 yards. He's the only player with over 100 yards of offense tonight in terms of skill position. 7:08 left. It's up to Fort Worth's defense.
The only thing I can say on that last play is you want to put your wide receivers in a situation where it's one-on-one coverage, and I think running that bunch play or bunching it up on that top of the screen is not going to do that unless you're sending your wide receivers, into different angles. But it looked like they were all in the same zone there, and I don't think that's the best decision as far as an offensive play goes in that situation.
7:08 to go. Can Fort Worth's defense get another stop? Kevin Say wrapped up by Vincent after a gain of a long 2 yards. 2nd and 8.
Well, the Toros, this half especially, the defense has, dug their heels in when they needed to. They've become a little more aggressive. Let's see if they keep that tone up here on this series.
Hand off. Harrison, not much there. 3rd and 6 coming up for the Dragons. This is the first of a 3-game homestand for DC. They have a bye next week before they host Mexico City in a rematch of the Season 5 championship game. Then they take on Lexington, a divisional battle in Week 10. What's coming up for the Dragons? Big 3rd and 6 here for DC. Synergy drops to pass against a 4-man rush. Fires down the field, tipped over the air and intercepted. Intercepted by Adam Leach. He breaks a tackle. Leach to the DC 34-yard line. 1st down, Toros.
You got 3rd interception for Leach of the season. I think it started off with Gordon's tip of the pass from Synergy. Able to tip it right into the hands of Leach, and they capitalized. This defense in the second half, key here, Cam, is they made adjustments. We're looking at a totally different defense here in the second half.
Adam Leach cashes in. Incentives will be updated later this evening across the league over the past 2 weeks. 6:13 to go in the 4th. DC now 7 points away from a tie. Off the turnover. Fires to Robert Garrett Jr. wide open to the 17-yard line. 1st down.
That's the type of route you need to run with Garrett on 3rd down. I mean, I think that's that's a money play right there. There's not many linebackers in this league that can cover Garrett.
Wrapped up by Tyler Highfield, the 3rd-year free safety. There's Price's updated numbers. All in all, a really solid night. Just that one interception from long ago, 13 of 20. For Price. Justin Reside, Ron Haynes all over it in our stat truck tonight. Thank you, fellas. Henry McGee goes in motion. Draw. 0. Somehow got a couple out of that nothing burger in the backfield.
Again, at only 3 yards. I don't hate that, though, Cam. I mean, it's a good mix. You're not going to get a home run on every play. It's a chess game.
That it is tonight. What a box score. Both teams identical, 5.6 yards per play. 5:12 to go. Hacker goes in motion. Being defended by Dew. That's been the matchup of the 4th quarter. Toss. Hacker trying to get a block, but it didn't matter. Blown up by Kev Say Jr. to force a 3rd and 8.
Oh, man. You know what's even more amazing, Cam, as I continue to try to talk over you, is the stats truck. They're like within a half a yard of what we're seeing on what the game is coming up with. They're doing an outstanding job tonight.
They're incredible. Play action. Price end zone incomplete. Oh. And now the question is, if you're Fort Worth, do you kick the field goal or go for it? The Toros are 4 for 4 on 4th down this season.
Kick a field goal. Tell the defense, I've got confidence in you to get the ball back.
They are going for it. Wow.
It means they're going to score a touchdown.
I tend to agree with you, but they are 4 for 4 on 4th down this season. 4th and 8 for Price. Play fake. Price. Pass incomplete. DC gets the stop.
Well, the silver lining here is that DC takes over deep in their own territory. If Fort Worth continues to play the defense that they've been playing, they could potentially get the ball back, sitting pretty on the as far as field position.
4:36 left. Still plenty of time.
Don't be too aggressive. I always say that.
Ball on the 15-yard line. Synergy 13 of 17. Here's that heavy look from Fort Worth's defense, and this time Kevin Say finds some room on the outside to nearly pick up a first down.
Oh man, they had that. They read that before the snap, and they knew they were going to go to that side, and Fort Worth just was not expecting it.
.410 and ticking. Toros need something. Stellar going in motion. And Synergy takes it himself. First down to the 29-yard line.
Why not? And when you got dreads like that, you just got to show them off. You just don't move in the wind when you're standing still throwing it, you know, Cam? You got to run.
You know, I heard he keeps a mini fan in the back of his jersey to, you know, give some added...
Drives with his head out the window.
Yeah, dramatic effect. Tongue out and all. 3:30 to go in the fourth. 21-14 Dragons. Fort Worth in need of a stop. They got 9 up in the box trying to sell out. It's picked up and it's going the other way. Fort Worth scores. Tavius Gordon off the forced fumble.
That, Cam, is why you put confidence in the defense. You know, my point. Kick a field goal and give it back to the defense to stop the ball. I mean, they've been playing lights out here in the second half. They made the great adjustments. They're a little bit more aggressive, not too aggressive, but man, did they rise to the occasion on that.
DC with six forced fumbles this season. That is best in the league. Fort Worth had only had 1 coming in. Jerry D. Gond forces the fumble, and we are tied at 21. And Tavius Gordon on that return gets career touchdown number 2, and we're tied at 21.
Oh my gosh, what a game. What a game.
Destro in the chat, talk about having a horseshoe up a dark place. Fort Worth does it again. Tie game with 3:16 to go.
This could be one of the best MNS games of the season.
Fort Worth again crowding. They got 11 up at the line of scrimmage. Synergy back to throw. The pass is caught by Weston. Pickup of 7.
We have not seen a lot of that tonight, but when they do, it's been pretty effective. I mean, they got 7 there, but I think Synergy was expecting a lot more zone tonight.
192 yards, most of it up the middle for Synergy tonight. Nothing along the left. Toss. Stellar breaks a tackle. Chuck Stellar's got a first down and gets out of bounds across the 30.
As well as Fort Worth's been playing here in the second half, they got to have a solution for that pitch play. It's been money all night for DC.
He's up to 55 yards on 13 carries as Stellar. 121 in his first 9 games, or first 5 games rather, so he's outperforming his normal output of about 25 yards or so per game. That's a handoff to Trejo, and that's not what you want. Nothing. 2nd and 10, and there's the man of the hour, Tavius Gordon.
That was just angry. That was an angry tackle, Cam. I'm not going to use a milk money reference because people think that's too old.
Tavius Gordon, looking at our stat sheet, has 10 tackles at corner.
Amazing.
Aiden Davis, another corner for Fort Worth, has 11 tackles. Play fake. Synergy lost the ball. It's picked up by Fort Worth. That could be reviewed.
I don't think it touched the ground, Cam.
Luther Gahn forced it, and Jerry D recovered it.
Oh, man. That line is getting aggressive right at exactly at the right time, Cam. Holy smokes.
And I think you're right, Charles. It didn't. I don't think it hit the ground. 1st and 10 at the 23. Fort Worth stepping up big time on the road Eric Price drops to throw, fires, caught. McGee to the 11-yard line.
The amount of ground you're working with, Cam, is starting to shrink, so some of those routes need to be adjusted here. I know I don't need to tell Fort Worth that, but what the worst thing to happen is get the ball back in the hands of DC right now. You can eat up some clock and put 3 on the board and be in a pretty good position.
Jerry Degon, if that is ruled as a pick, he has 1 interception in his career, and it was brought back for a touchdown. And earlier tonight, he forces a fumble that results in a touchdown. And now,
I don't know if that was an interception.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if it was or not, but if it's ruled that way, that's just food for thought. Hand off to Bacon, and Bacon will keep the legs churning down to the 7-yard line. Timeout DC to try to preserve clock and get the football back. Smart move there. They have 1 left.
They just keep going back to the run, Cam. No point in passing at this point.
Hackers at the bottom of the screen, defended by Bullock. 2 in the backfield. Hack goes in motion. 2nd and goal. DC can stop the clock 1 more time. Hand off, Jet 0 inside the 5, and he's spun down at the 4. Cycloned to set up 3rd and goal.
Oh, man. Oh, what a game, Cam.
What a game.
A lot of hitting going on right there. Holy smokes.
Third and goal from the 3. No timeouts left for DC. Play fake. Price fooled him and threw a pick. Oh my gosh! Did not see Peanut Say standing in the end zone.
Wow. Oh, that's just he did that. He did that before in the end zone, did he not? This is his 3rd pick, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. And to be fair to Eric Price, I didn't see him either. The uniforms of DC tonight blending in perfectly with the end zone.
Oh, I could be right here with the 3-point win.
That was incredible. 1st and 10 for DC now in a tie game at 21. A pickup of 4. Now remember, the Dragons, Charles, they have no timeouts, and the last thing you want to do is give Fort Worth one last chance.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got the running backs, though, that give you a lot of yardage there, and the blocking on the edge so far tonight's been incredible.
Flip outside, Percoco picked up just a couple. 3rd down and 5.
And I'm going to say it. I'm a broken record. You don't want to be too aggressive at this point. Go to overtime and see if you can get the ball back and score, because the worst thing, like you said, you don't want to give the ball back to Fort Worth.
A minute left. Synergy going to try to get the first down through the air. Pass caught by Robo to the 32-yard line. That will extend the drive, keep it away from the Toros. Now Synergy will go no huddle here. He'll roll to the left and look downfield. That pass is caught by Robo. What a catch at the 48-yard line. That's your nice hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid.
Yeah, that was a very physical reception there by Robo. I mean, he's been haven't been saying his name a lot, but man, when the ball goes his way, he's making it worth it.
Toss to Stellar to the Fort Worth 45. Caleb Richards is warming up the leg. He's 5 for 5 this season, but DC's got to pick it up. 18 seconds to go. Synergy, field goal range, pass, caught. Jay Hayden, who had the touchdown earlier, but it's 10 seconds. They don't have enough time, Charles, to get the field goal unit on the field.
And they're all dancing around as the clock ticks out.
49-yard field goal attempt. They got to go. They can't get it off. They're going to overtime.
Oh, here we go. Here we go, Cam. What a way to end the regular part of the game here. 21-21. Buckle up, my friend.
Charles, when they tossed that out to Stellar, I wonder if they forgot that they lost that timeout on that challenge, because that really put them in a very precarious situation there without that timeout. That hurt them on that last drive.
I mean, the key is the routes you run need to be near the end zone, near the sideline, so you can get out of bounds and stop the clock. You throw it in the middle of the field, what do you expect?
OT here on the Monday Night Spectacular. What a finish here.
OT.
Fort Worth on the return of the 23. Say again, Charles?
I said MNSOT.
All the letters.
For you and me.
Oh, boy. This is something.
Crazy.
What a classic. Don't forget. Say again?
I said that's what makes it fun. Sorry, I've been talking over you all night. My apologies.
Don't worry about it, Charles. Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk back at postgame. We'll have their reactions of this game and preview next week coming up. That pass incomplete as Price tried to air it to Hacker.
You can't fault Price for going for Hacker, but maybe you can question a little bit when there's five defenders around him.
Price, 14 of 25. At one point, I feel like he was 12 of 15. Price, pressure, and sacked. They couldn't get over there in time. Brought down by Nick Fargo, 3rd and 15. Fargo's 3rd sack of the season.
Yeah, they took a page from the defensive playbook of Fort Worth, and they overloaded the top of the screen, and there was no answer from a blocking scheme standpoint for Fort Worth.
Trips right for the Toros. Longest 3rd down of the night for Fort Worth. That pass is incomplete. Looking for Hacker again. Can't find him. DC's defense stands tall again.
Yeah, definitely. Every wide receiver for Fort Worth was blanketed by that secondary of DC.
From the 38-yard line, Harrison breaks a tackle. That gets him a little bit more room. All they need is a field goal. First score wins. DC's about 25 yards away.
Yeah, and they've got plenty of time as well. So, I mean, they could use the same play series they used at the end of the second half.
Yeah, it's deja vu. We're right back. We're right back where we were 45 seconds ago.
That's right.
Caleb Richards, long this season is 43 yards. Doesn't mean he can't kick it further. Toss to Stellar, and Stellar drags Delaney Nash for 6.
He's just like a bowling ball going down the alley. Oh my gosh, hard to bring down.
.8:55 left here in OT1. Tie game at 21. Play fake. Shabazz fires down the field. Incomplete. Looking for, in some ways, the hero of the night, Jay Hayden, who's tripled his reception total this season. Now, here we go again. Another critical 3rd down.
Yeah, I don't think either team. I think both teams should think of the play action as a 4-letter word. Do not do play action. There's been a lot of interceptions off those play action plays tonight.
2 backs, 2 receivers. Chuck Stellar goes out to the left, maybe for extra pass protection. Roll out Shabazz. Roll out Shabazz for a 1st down to the 39-yard line. Robo with catch number 8 tonight.
Robo's coming alive late in the game. It's like an all-star wide receiver would do. I mean, holy smokes. Had some magnificent catches late in the second half, and so far in the overtime, he's been making the secondary for Fort Worth look twice.
Be a 55-yarder from here. Synergy down the field, caught by Percoco. Down into the red zone. Fort Worth in grave danger now.
Key here, Cam, is just don't be too aggressive. I've said it a million times. Don't do a play-action play. Just run it up until you're 4th down and kick a field goal and, drink your juice boxes in the locker room.
DC, 6 catches by tight ends tonight for 86 yards. Robo's got 8 for 94, and Weston's got 6 for 83. 7:55 to go in overtime. Harrison now goes in motion. Fort Worth needs a turnover. They need it bad. Chuck Steller breaks a tackle. Steller down to the 16-yard line and ushered out of bounds.
Oh, holy smokes. He's just on that edge there. He is a beast. When you got to put, you got to go to like some hard coverage there on the swing areas because he's going to kill it on that pitch, and it's taken them. I mean, they haven't been able to react to it all.
And they feel comfortable about this, Charles. They're going to go for the win right here. Caleb Richards, 33 yards. You got it. This one's for Mama Molinix, and DC gets the win, 24-21. What a thriller.
Oh, my, yeah, what a thriller. A field goal here in overtime. We knew this was going to be a close one, Cam, but, man, you couldn't have asked for a more competitive game. Fort Worth, especially on defense, played a great game. The DC on both sides of the game was solid. Shabazz was incredible, 80% completion, 1 touchdown, 90.5 QBR. I mean, I'm gonna give the ball to him. I know there's some other players that deserve it, but man, he's the one that kept the offense on his shoulders, kept it even keel. Even after a couple mistakes, they were still able to hang in the ball game and walk away with a win.
Well, every great broadcast crew gets one snoozer. Look at Tavius Gordon tonight, 16 solo tackles, and he had that fumble recovery for a touchdown. Boy, if you could give game balls in a loss, that is unbelievable. Peanut saving the day with 2 picks in the end zone. The Gons were phenomenal. Wow. Final thoughts on this, Charles, before we send it to Tyler and Curtis on DC's victory.
I mean, both of these teams are rock solid. I mean, Fort Worth lost tonight, but they've got I think they've got the chops to go deep into this season as well as postseason, and DC as well. I mean, man, any team that's facing the DC or Fort Worth has got to be on their A game because, man, they brought it tonight, and they've got to be exhausted. And I'm going to tip the cap to both coaching squads for Fort Worth and DC, but DC walked away with 3 extra points, so it was a close one.
For Ron Haynes and Justin Reside, phenomenal on the stats truck, gentlemen. Charles Doherty, I'm Cameron Irvine. Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk take us home after another banger of a Monday night spectacular. We'll join them momentarily. Have a great night, everybody.
All right, so a walk-off winner as DC comes out with a 3-point victory over the Fort Worth Toros in overtime. Tyler Falk is alongside me. I'm Chris Curtis. Tyler, let's break it down. That fourth quarter was just constant action all the way through. Another M&S Classic.
It was nuts. I mean, we've looked back at all the different Monday Night Spectaculars we've had just this season, and we look back at the combined state of Monday Night Spectaculars we had off and on. This season has been nothing short of dynamite in terms
Would you
of.
say it's been spectacular?
It has been more than spectacular. It has been phenomenal.
There you go.
This season. And this game, no exception. I mean, you wanted crazy, we got crazy. We got teams trying to go for a touchdown, fourth down, and they got to come up with nothing. Then it's a fumble return 6, a fumble 6. And then that same team gets another fumble. Well, more than likely a interception that goes back. They're on the doorstep of the end zone, though, a pick in the end zone. And I'm going to say this, Toros, you blew it.
Yeah.
You blew this game.
Hey, cut.
DC.
Go. Oh, stop. What? No, those screwed it up. No.
Exactly. The Dragons took advantage. They do what the Dragons have always done, is be consistent when it matters most. And so after all the trouble, after all the turbulations, the Dragons win this game because they made less mistakes than the Toros after that point.
Yeah, y'all can grade my impression of the legend Chris Berman in YouTube chat. That'd be more than fine. That being said, a win for DC, and Cameron said it best. This game may very well end up being talked about when it comes to tiebreakers come scenario show later this season as we look towards the playoffs. So this is a big one for DC to come out with at home. So look for this to make an impact later on. So we will wrap up our evening from DC and look ahead towards next week. Week number 8 on the schedule is on the horizon, and there's actually less games on the schedule this week. Well, not quite. There's still 11 games, so I guess it's not quite as many. Not quite the less amount that I was thinking, but no Monday Night Spectacular next week, so you can shed some tears. It's okay. I feel the same way. But looking ahead, we've got some dynamite matchups across a few days here. Friday night, Tyler, we're looking at 3 games. It's the LA Lycans, Sin City Samurai, Florida Lexington, and then Queen City Nashville. And give me your game to watch on that particular day.
You know, we had the Battle of the Greens earlier, Queen City and Albuquerque at the Neon Greens. Now it's the Battle of the Neon Green versus the, more forest green. And this is a big game for Nashville. After all the talk in halftime for myself, can they turn it around? Yeah. For Nashville, something needs to happen. They've put out a couple different team posts saying, we know this is we're not supposed to be here. We know we're better than this. Well, here's your chance. Queen City, you've been tripped up again by Charleston, a team at 1-5 going to that game. Are you going to be able to come back from that one on the road and find a way to win on the road where you lost 2 straight on the road? It's a team for both of these. It's a game for both these teams. It's a figure it out game.
Yeah, they got to figure it out for sure. And I think Music City is going to be loud and rocking for that game, because I think that's a game that Nashville definitely has a chance to win. Looking ahead at the other games, Florida and Lexington is one I have my eye on. For one, Ron Cochran. There's a solid chance that he returns to the lineup in that game. So good to hear that he is feeling better and seemingly out of the woods. So very good to hear from the Florida camp as he gets back under center potentially for that game against Lexington, Gabriel Manning and company at home. So they will not be wanting to be a welcoming party for the Florida Storm coming in. And LA Sin City is the other game happening on Friday. Let's look ahead to Saturday. I'll give you first crack at the games on Saturday. Houston, Atlanta, Bossier City, Mexico City, Denver, Fort Worth, and Minnesota, Oklahoma City. Give me your thoughts.
Ooh, I'm going to go with the Tex-Mex Bayou division matchup, Bossier City and Mexico City. And Bossier City very much improved from last season. Mexico City, it's been a rocky title defense here at the moment. This one always brings the fire, always brings the passion, as all the Tex-Mex division games always do. And this one should be no exception. Mexico City trying to find their way. Bossier City trying to keep that momentum and keep that lead.
2 games have my eye on this particular slate. Denver, Fort Worth coming off a heartbreaking loss tonight, and then Denver continuing to have an upward trajectory season after they've had some disappointing results from seasons past. So which one is going to find the win? That's a prove-it game for me. And the other prove-it game, Houston, Atlanta. Both teams, Atlanta kind of down a little bit, but Houston at the 500 mark, trying to get above the 500 mark. That is absolutely a prove-it game for both of those teams. Which one can separate themselves from the mediocre in the middle of the standings? And then Minnesota, Oklahoma City, your other matchup on Saturday. Let's take a look at Sunday. Excluding our game, you can talk about it if you want after, but it's Carolina, Albuquerque, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, Vancouver, Arizona, and Washington, Charleston. Give me your pick.
Well, I know it's going to be a good game. That's for certain, that Carolina Albuquerque game. But the other game I've got my eye on is Vancouver and Arizona. And Vancouver playing good football. Arizona, a very uncharacteristic below 500 mark from them at the moment, and seemingly struggling in areas where I have not ever seen an Eddie Gage coached Arizona Scorpion team struggle. The run game isn't there. The pass game is hit or miss. This is... I've said it earlier. He outcoaches himself in certain situations. Does Vancouver take advantage of it with their stellar defense, number 1 defense in the SFL, and put Arizona's playoff hopes really on the hot seat if they're not able to come away with something?
Yeah, that's a very good looking game on that side. Vancouver, of course, on the road, and Fatality Field has not been friendly to visitors for a long time. Washington, Charleston is the game that I have my eye on in that slate. Washington sitting at a very good record at the moment. This is one of the teams that has far exceeded expectations. And then Charleston, winners of 2 straight. They have a chance to really turn their season around. And what better way to do it than at home against a team who is arguably overachieving at the moment. So let's see if Charleston can take their 3rd in a row. Washington has a chance to cement themselves as a power in the standings with a win on the road in Charleston. Carolina, Albuquerque, the other game, as well as Pittsburgh, Indianapolis. That is your slate for week number 8. Again, no more Monday Night Spectacular for week number 8. That'll be back in week 9, I do believe, as we get things sorted out for the middle part of this season. A lot of games left, but there's a lot of drama left to unfold, and hopefully we'll be here the rest of the season here to uncover it for you on VFN. For the MNS crew, Cameron Irvine, along with Charles Doherty, Justin Reside, Ron Haynes, in the stats truck for Tyler Falk, I'm Chris Curtis saying goodbye and good night from SFL HQ and our nation's capital. 24-21 DC wins over Fort Worth. That's the end of week 7. We will see you guys for week number 8.